Good evening, my friends. Let's take a moment to reflect on the possibilities that lie ahead. We're standing at the threshold of a new year, a fresh chapter in our lives. And in this moment, I want to share with you 7 powerful mindset shifts that, if embraced, will transform your life and help you achieve greatness in 2025. Let me start by saying this: the way you talk to yourself is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Too many people go through life wishing for things to get better, hoping for a break, or waiting for that lucky moment to come along. They dream about success, they dream about changing their lives, but they never truly take action. They say, I wish I could, or I hope one day I'll have the opportunity, but I'll tell you this, my friends, hope and wishing are not the builders of success, decisions are. In order to achieve greatness, you must make a powerful shift from I wish to I will. When you say I wish, you are still stuck in a place of uncertainty. You're not fully committed, you're not taking control of your life. Wishing is passive. It's a form of waiting for something external to happen before you take action. But life doesn't work that way. It doesn't wait for you to be ready, it moves forward, and you either move with it or get left behind. But when you say I will, you've crossed over into a place of power. You've made a decision, and decision is the birthplace of action. When you declare I will, you're taking ownership of your future. You're saying that regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the setbacks, you are choosing to pursue your goals and dreams with relentless determination. Think about it. Every great person in history made the shift from wishing to willing. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they created it. They didn't sit around and hope the world would hand them success, they went out and seized it. And you can do the same. But it begins with a decision to stop waiting, a decision to stop wishing, a decision to step into your future and say, I will. This is the mindset that drives achievement. This is the mindset that leads to greatness. When you say, I will, you are sending a powerful message to yourself and the world: I am in charge. I am not a passive bystander in my life. Your commitment to your willpower is what will push you forward, even when things get tough. When you shift from wishing to willing, something incredible happens. You stop looking for reasons why you can't, and you start looking for ways to make it happen. Your mind shifts into problem-solving mode. Instead of saying, I wish I could lose weight, you say, I will take the steps necessary to get healthy. Instead of thinking, I wish I could build a successful business, you start thinking, I will take consistent action day after day until it becomes a reality. The difference between wishing and willing is the difference between living in a world of possibilities and living in a world of results. The moment you declare I will, you're stepping into a space where you take full responsibility for your success. No more waiting for things to align perfectly. No more waiting for things to fall into place. You create the path. And let me tell you, once you make that shift from wishing to willing, you will notice the world around you start to shift. Opportunities will present themselves. You'll find the strength to push through challenges. You'll discover that your capacity for success expands in ways you couldn't have imagined before. There's a common belief that once you've reached a certain age or hit a particular stage in life, it's simply too late to make changes or pursue new dreams. People start to think the window has closed, I've missed my chance. You hear it all the time, especially when someone is at a crossroads or facing a big decision. It's too late for me. Well, I'm here to tell you today that there is no such thing as too late. It's never too late. You see, greatness doesn't come with an expiration date. Life doesn't give us a deadline by which we must have achieved everything we dream about. That's a myth. The truth is, you're never too old, never too far behind, and never too set in your ways to start making changes. The only time it's too late is when you tell yourself that it is. And the moment you believe that lie is the moment you stop striving for something greater. Think about it, some of the greatest achievements in history have come from people who were told it was too late. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he started KFC. The renowned author Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first book at 65. The list goes on and on, stories of people who defied the odds and proved that age, timing, or circumstances are not the limits to success. What do all these people have in common? They decided that it's never too late. But here's the key to making this shift. You have to stop thinking in terms of time lost. Time that you think you've wasted is not wasted. It's part of the journey. Every step, every failure, every lesson learned has prepared you for this moment. You are not defined by what you haven't done yet, but by what you are willing to do now. In life, it's not about how early you start. It's about how committed you are once you do. Some people start early and some start late, but the important part is that they start. The moment you decide that it's never too late to change, to grow, or to pursue your dreams, you unlock an entirely new power. a power that says I control my future regardless of my past. Think about your own life. Maybe you feel that you've missed out on certain opportunities. Maybe you feel you've been running behind. But let me ask you this, what would happen if you started today? What if you said, it's not too late for me? What if you decided that your best years aren't behind you, they're still ahead of you? In 2025, the real question isn't whether you've already missed your shot. It's about whether you're ready to take your shot now. You can choose today, this very moment, to make the decision that it's never too late to begin. The power lies in your hands. The future is still full of possibilities, no matter your age or the circumstances you've faced so far. When you let go of the idea that it's too late, you begin to realize that there is no better time than right now to take action. Don't let the years that have passed define what you can do next. Don't let them be an excuse for inaction. The truth is, life doesn't care when you start, it only cares that you do. You may be thinking, I don't know where to begin, or I don't have what I need, but that's the beauty of starting. It doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require a plan that's 100% figured out. It just requires that first step. And once you take it, you'll see that you've always had the ability to create the future you desire. The secret is in knowing that no matter where you are in your journey, it's never too late to start living the life you were meant to live. So as you enter 2025, let go of the thought that you've missed your chance. Forget about the years that have passed. The past is history, and the future is still unwritten. It's time to make the choice to go after your dreams, to take action, and to build the life you deserve. And remember, it's never too late. You have the power to decide that today is the day you start, and that decision is what will change everything. Let me ask you something. How often do you catch yourself saying, I can't? Maybe it's when you're faced with a challenge, a big goal, or something that feels just out of reach. You think to yourself, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills. It's just not possible for me. And when you say that, when you believe that, you close the door to possibility, you shut down any chance for growth. But here's the truth. The moment you say, I can't, you've already defeated yourself. But when you shift that thought to how can I, you open up an entire world of possibilities. Think about the difference between saying, I can't, and how can I. When you say I can't, you are resigning yourself to a life of limitations. You're focusing on the barriers, the roadblocks, the reasons why something is impossible. And the more you say it, the more you believe it, and the more it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You see, your mind works like a magnet. It will attract evidence to support whatever belief you have. So if you believe I can't, your mind will find ways to reinforce that idea, and you'll begin to see every reason why success is out of your reach. But when you ask yourself, how can I, something incredible happens. You've shifted from focusing on limitations to focusing on solutions. You've moved from a mindset of defeat to one of possibility. Instead of saying I can't, you're now saying I'm going to find a way. You've activated your creativity. You've ignited the problem-solving part of your brain. The moment you ask, how can I, you are saying to yourself, I refuse to accept failure as an option. I will figure this out. Let me tell you something, friends, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Every impossible situation is an invitation to think bigger, think differently, and discover new ways of doing things. When you ask, how can I, you open the door to innovation. You stop focusing on the obstacles and start looking for solutions. The path to success is not found by those who dwell on what they cannot do. It's found by those who ask, how can I make it happen? Let's take a moment and think about some of the greatest achievements in history. Every person who ever made something extraordinary happen had to confront the same doubts and fears that you do. But instead of saying, I can't, they said, how can I? Thomas Edison didn't say, I can't invent the light bulb or I can't change the world. No, he asked, how can I make this work? And because he asked that question, he found the answers, and we all benefit from the light bulb today. When you ask, how can I, you shift from being a victim of circumstance to being the architect of your own future. It's a mindset of empowerment. You begin to see that it's not the circumstances that define you, it's the way you respond to them. And the best way to respond is by focusing on solutions instead of problems. The how can I mindset moves you from uncertainty to action. So in 2025, whenever you face a challenge or feel like something is out of your reach, ask yourself that one powerful question, how can I? Don't let the I can't mentality hold you back. Instead, see the problem as an opportunity for growth. Ask, how can I learn the skills I need? How can I overcome this obstacle? How can I turn this challenge into an advantage? The difference between I can't and how can I is the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. It's the difference between living a life of excuses and living a life of action. And let me tell you, when you start asking, how can I? Instead of I can't, your life will begin to change. The doors that seemed closed will start to open. The challenges that once felt impossible will become stepping stones to your success. You have the power to change your life with this one simple shift. Every time you feel that I can't creeping in, replace it with how can I and watch what happens. The answers will come, the solutions will unfold, and you'll find yourself moving forward faster than you ever imagined. The path to greatness starts with this mindset shift. So ask yourself today, how can I make 2025 the year I move beyond I can't and into a life of how can I? The possibilities are endless. And the journey starts with a single question. So many people walk through life thinking they are stuck in the person they've always been. They look at their past, their habits, their shortcomings, and say, I am what I am. They accept their limitations, their fears, their failures as part of their identity. It's as if they've put themselves in a box, locked the lid, and thrown away the key. But I'm here to tell you that this is one of the greatest myths we can tell ourselves. The truth is, you are not what you've been, you are what you choose to become. Let me be clear, your past does not define your future. The person you were yesterday doesn't have to be the person you are today. And most importantly, the person you are today doesn't have to be the person you'll be tomorrow. You have the power to shape your future by the decisions you make in this moment. The mindset shift from I am what I am to I am what I choose to become is the key to unlocking your potential. It's the realization that you are not a finished product. You are a work in progress, and each day offers you a chance to reinvent yourself. Your past mistakes, your failures, the things you're ashamed of, they don't define you. They are simply experiences that have shaped you, and what you do with them from this moment forward is what matters most. Think about it. Everyone you admire, everyone you look up to, whether it's a business leader, an athlete, an artist, or anyone who's achieved greatness, has had to make this shift. They've had to come to the realization that who they are today is not the limit of their potential. They understood that they are not defined by where they started, but by where they are going. The only thing that truly matters is who you choose to become. Take a moment and think about yourself. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Who do you want to become? If you want to be healthier, more successful, more fulfilled, or a better leader, the first step is to realize that you can be. You are not locked into a role, a label, or a past that no longer serves you. The moment you decide that you are what you choose to become is the moment your life can begin to change. One of the biggest traps people fall into is identifying too strongly with their circumstances. I'm just a worker, I'm just an average person, I'm just not good at this, but these are just stories we tell ourselves. They're not the truth. The truth is that you have infinite capacity for growth, for change, and for improvement. You can start at any point and decide to change the direction of your life. You can choose to take on new habits, new skills, and new perspectives no matter where you are right now. And the most powerful part of this shift? It's all in your control. When you say, I am what I choose to become, you are taking full responsibility for your future. You are no longer waiting for someone else to change your circumstances. You are taking charge of your destiny. Let me share something with you. Every time I've faced a challenge, whether it was a setback, a failure, or a moment of doubt, I've had to remind myself of this shift. It's so easy to get caught up in who you've been or what you've done. But every time I felt like giving up, I remembered that the person I am today doesn't have to be the person I am tomorrow. I have the ability to choose a different path, to create a new version of myself, and to shape the future I desire. The same is true for you. When you make the decision to choose who you become, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You become the driver. And yes, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles, and there will be moments when it feels like you're not making progress. But keep reminding yourself that you are in control of who you are becoming. Every small decision you make today, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a step in the direction of the person you are choosing to become. So as you look forward to 2025, ask yourself, who do I want to be? Don't let your past define your future. Don't let the mistakes or limitations of yesterday prevent you from becoming the person you know you can be. Your future is still wide open, and the best part is you get to decide who you are going to be. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. You are not a fixed identity. You are a person in motion, evolving with every decision you make. The power to shape your future is in your hands. You are not defined by your past, your environment, or your circumstances. You are what you choose to become. And when you make that choice, everything changes. You become the architect of your destiny, and that is the beginning of true greatness. How many times have you said, I don't have time? How many times have you found yourself feeling overwhelmed by everything that's on your plate? Telling yourself that there's simply not enough hours in the day to get everything done. We've all been there, stuck in the same old routine, thinking that we just don't have the time to do the things we really want to do or need to do. But here's the truth: you don't need more time. You need to make time. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle isn't about the number of hours in the day. We all have the same 24 hours. It's not a question of having more time, it's about how you use the time you have. The moment you shift from "I don't have time" to "I make time," everything changes. You stop being a victim of your schedule, and you become the master of it. Let's face it, time will always be a limited resource. There will never be enough time to do everything, but there is always enough time for what truly matters. When you say "I don't have time," you're implying that your circumstances control you. You're allowing the chaos of life to dictate how you spend your day. But when you shift to "I make time," you're taking full control of your day. You're making a conscious decision to prioritize the things that matter most. Now, this isn't about being busy. Being busy doesn't equal being productive. People who constantly say they don't have time often mistake busyness for progress. They fill their days with distractions and activities that don't move them closer to their goals, yet they convince themselves they're too busy to focus on what truly matters. The key to making time is focusing on what's important and eliminating the things that aren't serving your purpose. Think about how you can apply this in your own life. Maybe you've been putting off starting that new project, that new workout routine, or maybe you've been delaying that important conversation because you don't have time. The truth is, you have time for whatever you choose to make time for. The moment you decide that something is important enough, you'll find a way to make time for it. Whether that means waking up earlier, staying up a little later, or cutting out distractions, you can make the time. It's all about commitment. People who achieve greatness are not the ones who wait for time to show up for them. They're the ones who show up for their time. They understand that time is an investment. It's not something that's simply passed or wasted. It's something to be used with purpose and intention. When you say "I make time," you are telling yourself that your goals are a priority. You are telling yourself that no matter how busy life gets, you are going to create space for the things that truly matter. But let me tell you, it's not just about the time you allocate to your goals. It's about how you make the most of that time. Making time means being intentional with the hours you have. It's about being disciplined, setting boundaries, and taking full responsibility for how you spend your time. You make time by saying no to the things that drain you and yes to the things that fuel your growth. And here's the thing: once you start making time for what's important, you'll find that the time you thought you didn't have starts to open up. The more focused and intentional you become with your time, the more time you'll find. You'll become more productive. You'll stop feeling overwhelmed. You'll start moving forward with purpose, and that's when real progress happens. So in 2025, let go of the excuse that you don't have time. Stop telling yourself that your goals will have to wait. Instead, start saying, "I make time to work on your dreams. Make time to invest in your health. Make time to strengthen your relationships. Make time to improve yourself, because what you choose to make time for is what defines your future." Time is not something you can control, but how you use it, that's entirely up to you. When you shift your mindset from "I don't have time" to "I make time," you reclaim your power. You start to live with intention. You start to direct your life rather than letting it pass you by. And when you do that, everything changes. The life you want, the success you desire, it's all available to you not because you have more time, but because you make time. How many times have you found yourself saying, "I'm too busy"? How many times have you felt overwhelmed by the demands of your work, your personal life, and all the obligations that seem to pile up day after day? It's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you're constantly running in circles, trying to juggle everything, but never really making progress. The truth is, being busy doesn't equate to being productive. And it certainly doesn't equate to achieving greatness. It's time to shift from saying, "I'm too busy" to "I'm too focused." When you say "I'm too busy," what you're really saying is that you're trying to do too much. You're scattering your energy in too many directions, and as a result, you're accomplishing little, if anything. Being busy is a trap. It makes you feel like you're being productive, but in reality, you're simply running around without a clear purpose. You're putting out fires here and there, but you're not making any real progress toward your most important goals. Now, when you shift from "I'm too busy" to "I'm too focused," everything changes. Focus is the secret ingredient to success. It's about zeroing in on what truly matters, prioritizing the tasks that will move you closer to your goals, and giving them your full attention. Focus means saying no to distractions and yes to what really counts. It means understanding that your time and energy are limited, so you have to choose where you invest them wisely. Let me ask you, what are you focused on right now? Are you focusing on the things that matter most in your life, or are you letting yourself be consumed by the noise and clutter that comes with being too busy? It's easy to get caught up in the endless cycle of busyness, but what you really need is clarity. When you're focused, you know what's important and what isn't. You're able to filter out the unnecessary and channel your energy into the tasks and activities that will bring you closer to your dreams. Focus doesn't mean doing more. It means doing less, but doing it better. It's about narrowing your attention to a select few high-impact tasks that will give you the biggest returns. It's about eliminating the distractions and saying no to opportunities that don't align with your long-term vision. When you're focused, you stop spreading yourself thin and start making real progress in the areas that matter most. But here's the key: focus requires discipline. It requires saying no to the things that don't serve you. When you're focused, you can't afford to be sidetracked by every little thing that comes your way. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're saying no to the things that will move you forward. Focus means being intentional with your time and energy. It's not about being busy, it's about being strategic. I think about the most successful people you know. I can guarantee you they're not running around saying, "I'm too busy." They're saying, "I'm too focused." They've learned the art of focus. And that's why they're able to achieve extraordinary things. They understand that success isn't about how many tasks you can check off a to-do list. It's about making significant progress on the things that truly matter. They say no to distractions, they eliminate the trivial, and they keep their eyes on the prize. So in 2025, stop measuring your success by how busy you are. Start measuring it by how focused you are. Ask yourself, am I focused on the right things? Am I dedicating my time and energy to the areas that will bring me the most reward? When you shift your mindset to focus, you stop being a slave to the clock. You stop living in a reactive state, constantly responding to every demand that comes your way. Instead, you begin to live proactively. You take control of your time, you direct your energy where it counts, and you begin to see real, measurable results. Remember, it's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things with intention and clarity. When you're focused, you're unstoppable. The distractions and busyness of life no longer have the power to pull you off course. You know exactly where you're going, and you have the discipline and determination to get there. So shift your mindset from being too busy to being too focused. Focus on your highest priorities, eliminate distractions, and put your energy where it will pay the greatest dividends. In 2025, make the decision that you're going to focus, not just on doing more, but on doing the right things, and you'll find that your results speak for themselves. Focus is the key to turning your dreams into reality. It's not about being busy, it's about being focused. And when you're focused, you'll achieve far more than you ever thought possible. How often have you found yourself saying, "It's out of my control," when things don't go the way you want? When the circumstances don't line up, when challenges arise, or when things simply don't turn out the way you expected. It's easy to blame external factors, to point fingers, and to convince yourself that there's nothing you could have done differently. But here's the powerful truth: the moment you embrace the mindset of "I take full responsibility" is the moment you take back control of your life. When you say "it's out of my control," you're surrendering your power. You're saying, "I have no influence over my circumstances, so I'll just accept things as they are." And let's be honest, this is the easiest option. It's easy to blame others, to blame the economy, to blame your upbringing, or to blame anything else outside of yourself. But by doing so, you relinquish your ability to change anything. You are letting life dictate the terms rather than taking charge of your own path. But the truth is, you are far more powerful than you realize. You may not be able to control every external circumstance, but you are always in control of your response to those circumstances. That's the difference. When you take full responsibility for your life, you stop waiting for the world to change for you. You start taking the steps to change yourself, your actions, and your outcomes. You recognize that no matter what happens, you have the power to choose how you respond. Taking full responsibility means acknowledging that you are the creator of your own destiny. It means understanding that where you are today is the result of the decisions you've made up until this point. Sure, things happen outside of your control, but your response to those things is entirely within your control. And that is where the real power lies. Let's look at it this way: life is not something that happens to you, it's something you participate in. The moment you take full responsibility, you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer and start seeing yourself as an active participant. You stop blaming others or external forces, and you begin asking, "What can I do to change this?" You realize that while you might not control the events that come your way, you control how you react to them, and that makes all the difference. Think about some of the most successful people you know. Have you ever heard them say, "It's out of my control"? I can tell you that they don't. They take full responsibility for their actions, their decisions, and the outcomes of their lives. They know that success doesn't come from waiting for the world to be perfect. It comes from taking ownership of your journey, learning from your mistakes, and doing whatever it takes to move forward, regardless of the obstacles. When you take responsibility, you stop feeling like a victim. You stop blaming the economy, the system, or the people around you for your circumstances. You stop making excuses. Instead, you focus on what you can control. It's about understanding that no one is coming to rescue you. It's about realizing that your life is your creation, and you hold the pen that writes your story. Taking full responsibility means embracing accountability. It means being honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to go. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to get better. When you take responsibility, you're also saying, I will learn from this. I will use this experience to improve myself, and with every lesson learned, you get closer to your goals. So as you move into 2025, I challenge you to make this shift. Stop saying, it's out of my control. Stop making excuses. Start saying, I take full responsibility on your choices, your actions, and the results you're getting. If things aren't going the way you want, take a moment to reflect on what you can do to change the situation. Ask yourself, how can I respond differently? What can I do to improve? How can I turn this setback into a setup for something greater? When you take responsibility for your life, you take back your power. You stop being a passive player in your own story, and you become the author. You take control of your future. The world might throw challenges your way, but by taking full responsibility, you'll always have the ability to overcome them. Your success will be the result of the choices you make, and you'll no longer feel like you're at the mercy of circumstances. Instead, you'll feel empowered to shape your life in the way you want it to be. So embrace this mindset shift in 2025. Take full responsibility for everything in your life, and you'll start to see how much control you truly have. The world might be unpredictable, but your response to it doesn't have to be. You have the power to create your future, and that starts by taking responsibility for your present. And that, my friend, is where greatness begins. How often have you found yourself standing at the edge of a new opportunity, holding back because you feel I'm not ready yet? How many times have you hesitated to take action, telling yourself you need more time, more experience, or more knowledge before you can begin? It's a common mindset that many of us fall into, the idea that there is a perfect moment when we'll finally be ready to take that leap, to start that business, to write that book, or to make that life change. But here's the thing, I'm not ready is just an excuse. It's a mental barrier that keeps you from stepping into your potential. You see, the truth is, you'll never feel completely ready. There's no magical moment when everything will align perfectly, when you'll know exactly what to do at every step of the way. Readiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you build through action. The moment you say, I am prepared enough to start, you've unlocked the key to progress. You've realized that preparation doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment, it comes from doing what you can with what you have, right now. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they waited until they felt perfectly ready to begin? No, they started when they felt uncertain, when they weren't sure of all the answers, but they believed that by taking that first step, they would learn, adapt, and improve. They understood that readiness isn't a state of perfection, it's a process that unfolds as you move forward. And the same applies to you. When you say, I'm not ready, what you're really doing is putting off your dreams, letting fear and doubt hold you back. It's an excuse that keeps you stuck in the planning phase, forever waiting for the perfect time to start. But here's the powerful shift: when you say, I am prepared enough to start, you're giving yourself permission to move forward. You're acknowledging that while you might not have everything figured out, you've got enough to get going. You've got the courage, the skills, and the drive to take the first step. No one is ever fully prepared when they begin something new. There will always be unknowns. There will always be challenges. And there will always be a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. But that's okay. What matters is that you take action. Because by starting, you'll start learning. By stepping into the unknown, you'll discover what works and what doesn't. You'll gain experience. And that experience is the true preparation you need. Think about a time in your life when you did take that first step, even when you weren't ready. How did it feel? Maybe it was uncomfortable at first. Maybe you felt unqualified or unsure. But once you started, you began to figure things out. You adapted, you grew. And with every step you took, you became more prepared than you ever imagined. That's how progress works. You can't wait for the perfect moment because it never comes. You create the perfect moment by taking action and learning from the journey. So in 2025, stop waiting for the day when you feel ready. It's not going to come. The perfect conditions will never arrive and you will never have all the answers, but you don't need to. You're already more prepared than you think. The question is not whether you're ready, but whether you're willing to take that first step with what you have right now. When you shift from "I'm not ready" to "I am prepared enough to start," you are giving yourself the power to move forward, to take action, and to embrace the process of growth. You don't need to wait for everything to align perfectly because the real preparation comes through the doing. The more you do, the more you'll learn. The more you learn, the more you'll grow. And that's when you'll discover that you were ready all along, not because you had it all figured out, but because you took that first step. So let go of the belief that you're not ready. Embrace the truth that you are prepared enough to start. Take the leap, take the action, and trust that the journey will prepare you for what's ahead. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to begin. And once you do, everything will start to fall into place.